Hey guys, welcome back. I am Jason, and I'm here with a couple of my really good buddies, trusted amigos right here, and we are in the town of Bouilladine, spelled Bouladine, but it's pronounced Bouilladine. I just got here today, and where I came from is a town named Burnsville, and Burnsville is a catastrophic fiasco. It is completely inundated with aid as far as supplies, equipment, heavy machinery. Everybody and their brother has a chainsaw and a side-by-side, it seems like, and is eager, chomping at the bit, ready and willing to help. The problem is a lack of leadership. So me and a friend were there yesterday doing our best to organize and plan and get problems solved. A lot of good things happened. A lot of people were contacted. Some driveways were cleared. We had insulin delivered to people that were out of it. All good things, but it was an entirely different show when we got up here because my friends here were in charge of running the community center, basically. The community center here in the small, very small, sorry, even not even out of town.
No.
It's like there's not even a stoplight or stop sign.
It's not even incorporated.
There's just a community center.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. The town is that, and there's just the communities along the river and stuff. But anyway, we rolled into here, and these guys had the place running like a well-oiled machine. What I want from you guys watching right now that would be extremely, very, very helpful is to share this video with at least one person. As long as you share it helps the performance of the video, and if the video does better, we're going to be able to get more funds and more people's eyes on this information. It can make a really big difference for these people's lives. A lot of people have lost everything.
Yeah.
He is a doc in the right side. He pulled out of Spruce Pines when FEMA showed up, took all his staff to relief. So he's here. So we're getting medical supplies and prescriptions for him today. We just built shelves for him. He's always a good person to ask what he needs. Vitals, blood pressure, stuff like that you can help with. Volunteer coordinator Carrie, I'll show you her in a second. What she's doing is finding all the volunteers looking for stuff to do, and she's going to start assigning an assistant to each of these chiefs. So then that's going to free up OJ. OJ's in the black shirt. OJ is our biggest coordinator. He's coming out of Johnson City. He's making things happen. He's a mover. OJ and Doc are getting inundated with people saying, "What can I do? I need this. I want this. What can I do?"
And it was really awesome because of the leadership, and that is what is missing. So what I'd like to do is let these guys just take it from here and kind of explain their side of the story, what has happened, what is going on. And for frame of reference, today is Saturday, October 5th. That is today. So if you're watching this at a later date, it might be old news. But anyway, tell us what you've seen, tell us what you've experienced, some of the things that you've done, and then what people can do to help.
Yeah, that'd be great. My name is Will. I'm from the U.S. Men's Academy. And we rolled into Bouilladine yesterday, about midday, just after, and we tried to establish kind of what the most critical needs were. We tried to find, are people lost? Do we need clear driveways? Do we need to get people out of places with a helicopter? What do we need to do? And that was our first priority, was to figure that out. Obviously, yesterday was a little hectic, but today we got things kind of running really smooth. It was chaos, especially today, because it is the weekend, and people decided today's the day to drop off all their donations, which makes perfect sense. And all the people here are more than grateful to have it. It's just that we needed to figure out logistics and get it all taken care of. So we did. One thing that I wanted to pass along, and there's a lot of information out there on social media right now. A lot of it is old news. A lot of it is 3 to 4 days old. One thing we found here is communication is quite lacking. It's very difficult, but we have come upon some information from some people who just entered Bouilladine earlier today. They have drone crews, they got helicopters, they got the whole works. They're a real crew, and they told us that the east of Bouilladine, around the Ingalls area and north up towards Montezuma in that area, they have not really been contacted. There are questions as to whether they are okay, whether they have supplies. It's kind of an unknown. There's a lot of roads out in that area. There's also a very large bridge that connects a major highway, and it is currently out. So we are starting to try and send resources that direction from the north side and also from the south side, so that maybe they can meet in the middle and start doing some search and rescue out there. Again, we were sending drone teams, helicopters, the whole works, but anything helps out in that direction. I would definitely recommend, as far as equipment and gear, food and water and all that stuff's taken care of. A lot of it is definitely going to be generators and other stuff like that. Definitely gonna let my buddy here take care of that.
So
it's not necessarily that these people are stranded on the side of the mountain somewhere. It's just
No.
that no one knows because the electricity's out. Cell phone service has been very, very spotty at best, and so people just don't have a way of communicating with the outside world, and so we have no idea.
So,
right? Yeah.
taking off from there, by the way, I am Jason as well. So the biggest thing, if you want to help with that, is they have water. They actually have so much water that they don't know what to do with it. The biggest issue that they have is pushing it out to who needs it, but they don't know who needs it. So if you would like to help us, you can either donate to local charities, stuff like that, or you can donate to us so we can allocate those funds to the people that need it. We know these people. We're talking to these local leaders. So if you go to www.usmensacademy.com and donate to us, we'll be able to get those resources to the right spots between communications, gas, generators, because we don't want a rolling effect like the water. So it'll be much more effective, and it will take much more of the weight off of these communities and their leaders.
Right.
Yeah. The locals are gonna know Susie down the street that needs the thing. She needs diapers for her baby, right? So they can allocate some of the funds to go directly there, as opposed to just overwhelming a area with 100 million packs of diapers, and then now they're sitting on all that and they don't know what to do with it. And that is exactly the situation. So many supplies and so many people coming in to help that it takes leadership to kind of figure out how to store that stuff and then how to allocate it out, and that's really where the local people are going to come into play.
One thing to add on that too is that there's been tons of people coming out of here wanting to search and rescue, because we all know the situation, but you're not going to come out here and play cowboy. Most of what we did today was logistics.
The boring,
Yeah.
non-exciting, non-heroic stuff. Everybody wanted to come out here with their side-by-side and their chainsaw.
Everyone.
And they're diving into the river, rescuing the babies. That's not what's going on. The water has receded, the damage has been done, and now the cleanup and the organization to get people what they need to carry on life as normal is what's going on.
A question, sorry, I gotta ask. A question a lot of people are gonna have in response to you, Jason, is, well, they can't get these supplies. So if we're giving you guys money, how are they gonna get these supplies? Because their towns have been shut down.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so because of that, so one of the first things that we wanted to do when we got here is jumpstart their logistics and their communications. Part of that is getting Starlinks out here. We've been talking with these local leaders, working with maps, and getting all of our information together, because not even fire departments know who needs help. So
Starlink has been a game changer.
Yeah, Starlink has been a huge game
There's people
changer.
right here using Starlink so they can do daily stuff.
I'm not.
Yeah, but those people are stopped by because we have a sign on the side of the road saying, hey, Wi-Fi here. So come here and you can communicate with your families that you haven't spoken to and they're worried about you and all that stuff.
I'd like to throw one other thing out there. If you do come out to these areas, please bring your own communications, radios, comms, something, because
Those have been huge.
One thing we found in our organization, organizing these logistics chains, trying to figure everything out, comms was huge. I mean, being able to call this guy on the radio and be like, hey man, what you got going on? What do you need? Like, it cannot be understated how important that is. You're not getting cell phone service.
Yeah.
There is no cell service.
Yeah, and to add on to that, if you want to help in person, like you wanted to come out here and do a thing, don't just roll out here and just do things, because oftentimes what happens is, like I said, we've been overwhelmed with people that want to help. Which is awesome. Everybody wants to help, and that's so awesome. That's so cool. But what I would suggest is you reach out to an organization like the U.S. Men's Academy, or many others out there. Like we've been working with the Cajun Navy, the Free Burma Rangers, and those groups. If you reach out to them, you could say, hey, where can I help? I want to be there, and they could probably point you in the right direction, as opposed to just willy-nilly getting up here and maybe getting yourself into trouble on these roads that are destroyed.
And I can tell you what, after we've only been here maybe a day and a half, these local leaders are doing their best, and they are doing everything they can to help people. But when you are not used to running large logistics and working in teams, if you haven't pre-planned this, when a hurricane runs through your town, all of a sudden every idea that you have in your head goes out the window. And the biggest thing with that, like you were saying, is we have enough logistics and enough time in this little town that we are now able to now give the community leaders, like for example, he was able to give one and the fire department a lot of information about are people actually safe? Most of the stuff we were getting, just like on social media, turns out they're not false. They just don't know until you get physical eyes on there, and without somebody organizing everyone, it's very, very difficult. So we've been able to get with this local leader, and we want to be able to leave them with a permanent solution, not a temporary solution.
We got to think long term for these guys, because as you can see, I mean, it is completely pitch black out here because they still don't have power. It's been well over a week now, and they don't have anything.
It's going to be
months at least.
Listen, I've been all over the place, and I've ridden all over, not necessarily this specific area, but the general area of Appalachia that was affected by these floods, and there is not a power line still in operation. It seems like that, except for like the main hubs, the main city areas. Those are kind of back up and running somewhat, but outside of that, nobody's got anything like that. And water supplies have been either tainted in some way. They've got boil notices and all that kind of stuff going on, and or there is no water at all. So
Water filters, is that a good?
if people have their own water supplies like wells and stuff like that, even those have been kind of contaminated because of the flooding. So even if you have a generator that can work your well pump, it's still kind of a little bit of a risk at this moment. So water purifiers, filters, and stuff like that. A lot of people just don't have the knowledge on how to make their water safe. So they're relying on bottled waters a lot and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, which we have a whole lot of here.
I think one thing too is if you do want to come down here, like he said, and help out, going to the distribution centers and finding out where those are with an empty trailer to move that stuff for them, I think would be much more effective than already overloading them with a full
stuff.
Pantry.
Yeah. I don't know.
At the moment, that could very well change a week from now, or 2 weeks from now.
That's very true.
When supplies start to dwindle and people start to forget about this.
Yep.
That could definitely change. But we're saying right now on October 6th, 5th, whatever it is, 5th, October 5th. Right now, in most of the places that I have seen, I've been to Black Mountain, I've been to Burnsville, and I've been to where are we?
Bouilladine.
Now that we're in Bouilladine, the three places that I have been, they have way more supplies than they have a way to get them to places. So that could change.
And outside of just the supplies, remember that these people's lives have been completely destroyed. Be gentle. I mean, I was listening to a lady today talk about how she had 8 trees fall on her house. The house is still standing, but I mean, she was close to tears, and it was genuinely heartbreaking to hear that story. And there are thousands of stories like that all across the state right now. And these people she just wanted a hug. She wanted somebody to listen to her, and that goes a long way too. So just be ready for that.
We cleaned fallen trees and debris and stuff out of this guy's yard today, and his house is wrecked. I mean, it is completely flooded. It's full of mud. You walk in the house, it's saturated. Everything's wet. Everything's got to be gutted. And just picture yourself in that situation if that happened to you in your home with all the supplies that you've got. You're squared away and set up, and suddenly this happens, and now you got nothing.
Yeah, boom, hurricane.
It's hopefully assuming you survived it in the first place, and all your family is safe. You're looking at this mess now. But what was really great, and I think is probably going to be key and really, really helpful for situations like this and being able to overcome them, is his attitude. His name was Philip. I think his name was Philip was his name, and he had the most positive, like upbeat attitude. He's looking at destruction of everything that he has, and he was just like, yeah, we're gonna fix it. Like, no problem. Like, we're gonna get this done. So it was really cool.
Yeah, he said insurance companies have abandoned him. Yeah. Everybody,
the
local power company.
Yeah. But it was a positive, can-do attitude, and that was pretty impressive.
It's up to us.
Yeah.
And thank you for those who have supported. I mean, it genuinely means a lot. I know it means a lot to the locals here. I mean, us just bringing Starlink so that way people can get on the internet and talk to people.
That's something people can bring.
It's huge.
Yeah, Starlink communications.
It's big. It's really, really big. So.
And do what they're doing. That's some help that's well needed, is bringing those in, setting it up on the side of a road, and camping out for these people.
But again, if you donate to a good cause, like for example the U.S. Men's Academy, which is awesome.
Yep.
If you did that, we could potentially get that money invested into Starlinks and things of that nature and distributed around without a whole bunch of people hand delivering one at a time, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So,
Yeah.
We want
so
to be effective in our
efficient,
delivery.
efficient,
There we go.
effective. Yes.
Very good.
So I think that probably sums it up for the most part, unless you guys have anything else to,
No, sir.
to add.
Like professional leaders. I mean, that is what's missing everywhere.
Absolutely,
But,
yes,
yeah.
yes. But those organizations that we mentioned before have leadership, and if we could divert the funds towards those groups that already have that in place-
Pre-established.
pre-established. There we go. Then it's a long day.
Yeah, I'm there.
Long couple days.
there.
Anyway, words are hard. But if we could get that to there, it's going to be much more organized for the long run, I think. But what I want from you guys watching right now that would be extremely, very, very helpful is to share this video with at least one person. So if you could do me a ginormous favor, and I'd be really grateful if you take this video, you hit the share button and share it with your sister, or anybody, or another account that you have, or whatever. It doesn't matter, as long as you share it. It'd be really, really grateful. It helps the performance of the video, and if the video does better, we're going to be able to get more funds and more people's eyes on this information, and it's just going to be, it can make a really big difference for these people's lives that have a lot of people have lost everything.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty sad situation that we've got going on up here. It's pretty heartbreaking when you talk to some people and you just see the glazed over look in their eyes of like, now what? What do I do now? And I've seen quite a bit of that, and it's pretty rough. So whatever you can do to help, that'd be really great. Share this video. The thumbs up and the subscribing things is all great, but please share the video with somebody else. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, well, we just like to thank you, and like he said, the more you share it, we just want to be able to get this information out. These people need help, and if you can do that, that will help.
Yep.
Very good.
Thanks,
Awesome,
friends.
guys.